Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany Dura and I'm so excited to share today's video with you. It's going to be about how my husband and I purchased our home during quarantine. Here are a few photos of my husband and I on our closing day. Keep watching the video to the end and you'll see a quick tour of our home during the construction process. My husband and I, we actually got married in November of 2018. And one of the goals that I know I set for us, and when I talked to him about it, we were definitely on the same page that we wanted to purchase our first home together. And it was something that we really wanted to do. At the time we were renting, and so we were in a rental home, and so we moved out of that home actually into like a small apartment. And so we moved into that apartment in June of 2019. So imagine at this point, right? So we're going to take our family, me, my husband, our daughter, our son Parker, who had just turned 1, and then I found out I was pregnant, to go move into an apartment. And so it was not something that was an easy transition at all, but we did it knowing that we had a goal in mind, we had a purpose in mind, and that was to buy our home by the time our lease was up. And so I will say that it was something that we really didn't share with a lot of people, just because believe it or not, I'm a little bit of a private person. I don't really share a lot of things with too many people, just because I like to keep things to myself. I like to, know that if I'm trusting and believing God for something, that it's something that's near and dear to me. Like, I just want to make sure I keep that close. So we did share with our parents, but we both agreed that we were going to just, trust and believe God and just work our plan. When 2020 first started, we had our daughter Ryan. She was actually born on January the 3rd. And so at that time, like, I was going through everything just with, recovering from childbirth. I'll share a little bit about my postpartum journey and another video. But in March, my sister had come to visit. And so when she actually came to visit, like, I was trying to encourage her and her family to relocate here to Texas. It was something that they had been talking about. So we went to go show them homes, like things that they would be able to get, not really looking for ourselves. So we actually went to one neighborhood, and my husband really liked the neighborhood. And we'd been talking about like getting a house, but we didn't really like firmly make that decision. So I don't know if you've ever like decided like, hey, I'm gonna trust and believe God for these things, but it's kind of been something that's maybe you didn't really fully like wholeheartedly believe or think that it was possible. You just kind of put it out there, but you kind of had a little bit of doubt. That's really where I was initially. And so my husband was like, no, we said we were going to look at a home, and so I think this would be good. So that's really when our process started. I came across our neighborhood that we're in now, and when I saw it, like, I just literally fell in love with the neighborhood. We actually we looked at some other neighborhoods, but we always just kept coming back to this neighborhood. And we ended up meeting like our neighbors next door. And just when we met the neighbors, I just really felt like, oh, this is the place that we should be. But I kind of felt like that fear, that doubt kind of creeping in a little bit. So I decided, I was like, I'm going to pray about it. And if I have peace about it, then we're going to go for it. And that's what we did. So the community that we live in, it is new construction. And one of the concerns that we had at first when we were coming to look was, about like if anything were to happen and builder delays, like how will we be impacted with COVID-19 going on, because we were in the middle of trying to look at a home, put an offer on a home, like right smack dab in the middle of when everything went on lockdown. But when I say our timing could not have been more perfect, because when we came to look into tour, I didn't feel rushed. Normally, like, this market and the DFW area has been a really, really hot market, and there's been a lot of buyers. We were in the sales in the sales office for like 4 or 5 hours, just looking at all the plans and everything. And we really had a really good experience with the sales agent. What we decided to do was to actually go with an inventory home. So we did have to make a compromise because we weren't able to customize like the exterior and everything, because the home was already in the drywall stage and they had already made all the selections. So I did have to make some concessions there. But when I looked at everything that they had picked out in the design, like it really was my taste. Some things I wanted to change, but I knew that I could change those things later. So it wasn't anything that was just necessarily a deal breaker, and I feel like we got actually more for our money. We were able to stretch our money a little bit further than if we would have went just from like buying the land and then just building from that perspective. We actually did run into some delays, just minor delays due to COVID. So for example, one thing that we ran into was that the brick that the builder ordered, it was kind of back ordered a little bit, so we had to wait. There was some delays in the construction of the rear portion of the house. Also, we had the option between choosing our lender or the builder's lender. What we decided to do was to try to work with both lenders and see who would give us the better terms. Because a lot of times when you go to a builder for new construction, like they're really pushing you to use their lender, which is fine because they offer incentives, but don't feel pressure to use that lender if it's not the best terms for you. You can shop for your mortgage, and I would highly recommend anyone to shop for their mortgage. At that time, interest rates were very low. I haven't checked them, but it's my understanding that they're still very low. So if you're in a good position to buy, if you're a well-qualified buyer for your home, make sure you shop for your interest rates, because it is a huge purchase. It's a large investment, and you want to make sure that you're getting the best deal and the best terms for you, because you have to make sure that you keep your best interests at heart. Also, another delay that we experienced, and it actually was not either of the lenders, it was actually something that happened with the government. So one thing that we didn't know was when the federal government decided they were going to put student loans into deferment, it impacted me just because I'm the one that has student loans. And so a lot of people in the US, you have student loans from going to school, and they put them in a forbearance, but it impacted the way we were going through the process of qualifying. Well, not qualifying because we'd already qualified, but the loan process, because because of COVID, they had to recheck everything all over and over and over again, even right before closing, 7 days before closing, 3 days before closing, and then the day before the closing date, which were things that kind of changed right because of COVID. So if you have student loans and they're in a forbearance, just make sure that you are able to show what your payments would be if they weren't in a forbearance, because at that time I didn't know that. Luckily, I was able to get that information. I was just able to contact my student loan servicer, get that information. I had already been making those payments, so I had a history of making those payments, but that was an obstacle for us. There definitely were times where I felt like our faith was being tested and tried. But I will say that we just had to trust and believe that God was going to do just what he said that he was going to do. So closing day was also a little bit different. We did have to wear masks. We couldn't have the traditional thing where we have lots of family and friends there, which I guess was okay. Just because most of our family is back home anyway, so they weren't able to be here. And the only thing is that we couldn't have the kids with us to share in that experience, but it was still a great experience. My husband and I, we still took pictures. It was so exciting to be able to get the keys to my first home. You guys, if I could describe that moment, it's just a sense of accomplishment, knowing that you worked hard for something that you wanted and you were able to accomplish that goal. Just growing up like owning my own home was a goal that I set for myself. I never put a timeline on it. I never said that by this time, by this date, or by this age. I just knew that it was something that I was going to do. But I did know that I wanted like something specific. And so when we started going through the process, I knew that I didn't want to get something where I felt like I had to just throw money into it to do a lot of repairs. Now with a new home, you know, it's pretty much like a blank slate. So yes, you do have to put more money into it, but I knew that I was putting like money into my investment and I was making it my own. So that was one of the reasons why we decided to go towards new construction, because both of our ideas of what we wanted aligned. I hope this video like really encouraged you. If there's something that you're trusting and believing God for, that you seek him, that you believe and know that he's able to do it. If he's able to do it for me, he's able to do it for you. If you're buying a home through COVID, you know that you may have some challenges, but you know, it's so well worth it. If you're thinking about buying a home, go ahead and take that leap. So if there's anything that you want me to go into detail about during this process, just comment below and I'll make another video if I need to, where I can go into more detail about the process. I just really didn't want to make this video like very long, but I did want to share how excited I was and our experience, because we did buy a home during coronavirus. We bought our first home together during coronavirus with two like kids under 2. So most people probably would have thought we were crazy, but it all worked out. So it was all so worth it. Here's a quick video of our home from when it was being constructed. There are 5 bedrooms total. On the first floor, there are 2 bedrooms. And then we have the kitchen with like an open dining area, living room. Our master's on the first floor. The bathroom I really love. We have a standalone tub. And then upstairs on the second floor, we have a game room slash playroom area that we're using for the kids, just so they can kind of like play. And then off of that playroom, there's a movie room. And upstairs, there are also 3 bedrooms. This is like a huge attic space that I actually want to try to like enclose and maybe do like another closet for Michaela, just as she gets older. I'm sure she's gonna have like a lot of clothes. And so here's our home. It's our dream home and we're just so in love with it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that it inspired you. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. Also ring the bell so that you'll be notified whenever I release a new video. You guys take care and I'll see you in the next video.